at all times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
Good evening everybody in the chat. Hello, welcome to the usual 2030 Dead Rail stream. We're looking to start on time tonight, which is a miracle, as I'm sure you all know by now. So we've got about 6 minutes before we go, so grab yourselves a cup of tea or something stronger if you want. And don't forget to share this stream on all your pages to see if we can get as many people as possible in tonight.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your driver, aka Dad Rail speaking. I have just poured the water into a cup of tea. We've got 2 minutes before the stream starts. So here is the question. Is 2 minutes long enough to brew a cup of tea, or should it be brewed for longer? How do you like yours?
This is a safety announcement. It is not permitted to cycle, skateboard or rollerblade within the station building.
Well, hello, good evening everybody. First things first, I have my cup of tea in my Peppa Pig Father's Day cup. Peppa Pig. Love a bit of Peppa Pig. It's a bit weak. 2 minutes to brew isn't long enough, but never mind. Right, usual suspects in the chat. I say that every time. Southern Freight Spotter, hello, how are you this evening? Elizabeth Harrison, Maxwell of course. Amy for the stars. First stream for Amy, who is my sister, so she's going to be saying lovely things about me. Jack Newell, hello, welcome to the stream. Pig and Bob. Nationwide Coin Hunt. I'm going to have to be careful saying that one, I think, otherwise we're going to get censored. As always, guys, if you're in the stream, if you could just hit the like button and subscribe, that would be fantastic. We're competing with the official Train Sim stream tonight. I see they're streaming, as they do every Tuesday, and they've got 300 odd people in, so we're in competition with them. Before we jump into the game as well, that is the wrong button. You can check out my social media as it says on the screen, but that is the wrong button. As always, all the opinions expressed within this video are solely my own and may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. All that good stuff. So, we done Island Line last week with the voice chat in there, but having had a little think about it, I don't think it worked too well in that sort of format. So I'm just going to do me in the stream again tonight, answering your questions and chatting away, drinking tea. A few people have asked me as well about doing some open BVE and going to do some Train Sim Classic streams, and that's certainly something something I think we're going to definitely do. I'm a particular fan of open BVE, as I've said in previous streams. So yeah, we're definitely going to do some open BVE videos. The next video, of course, will be Thursday because we've got the release of the fantastic Dovetail Games 313. Incidentally, a minute after I started streaming, I had an email from Dovetail Games about something about being an ambassador or something. You guys know more about that than I do, but yeah, watch this space. Could have some exciting news coming soon. Anyway, I think that's probably enough rabbiting on from me. We're going to jump into Train Sim World 2 London Commuter. Now, I realise London Commuter has been done to death over the last few weeks, but being that it's a route I sign in real life, I feel quite comfortable driving it, and it's quite sort of a chilled live stream where we can also have a bit of a chat. I'm going to do Reigate to Victoria. Reigate doesn't look great, as I'm sure you've heard me say before. Up to Victoria, and then Victoria to Brighton, because that'll be the only bits of the route I haven't driven in those directions. I've kind of done the rest of the routes. I'd like to do those. So I'm going to jump into the game, and then I shall have a look through the chat and answer some of your questions. Ah, did I just press the wrong button? No, I didn't. So yeah, we'll keep it all as is for the minute. I quite like doing the nighttime drives, but I don't think they look particularly good on the stream. So we want to do a Reigate to London Victoria service. We'll do sort of an early-ish morning one. 1 Romeo 09, Reigate to London Victoria, 7:29 departure. Yeah, let's go for that one. Like I say, I've not played these before, so I don't know exactly what the stopping pattern is or anything like that. But we'll give it a go and see what happens. We've also got Mum Rail with us tonight, if this works. There we go. Give us a wave, Mum Rail. She's like, no, we can see you on camera. You're there. Give us a wave. Hashtag Mum Rail. She's in the stream. I should have got her to make the tea, really. Wouldn't have been so weak. Right, so we are at Reigate. Let's get the train set up and then we'll have a little look around outside. So, of course, as always, I'm going to put my safety systems in. AWS. DRA's already in. And, yeah, I'm just leaving the DSD and Vigilance out because I'm a lazy driver. Already got the road, so we don't need to set the DRA. Although, actually, that should already be set entering or leaving a cab. Into neutral. Set some lights. Day running. And off. And we want to open the doors on the off side. Being a good boy, getting up. Pressing the buttons. Let me know if the game audio is okay, guys. George, I'm new to this channel. You're very welcome here. Yeah, so this is Reigate that looks really awful. I'm going to make the train look late just to go and run up and see how awful it looks. Sky high signs. Level crossings missing. But hey, this is probably one of the only bad things about the route. The rest of it looks really nice. Right, so I've already made the train late. Let's get in and go. Game is too quiet. Right, I shall turn the game volume up a little bit. If we can find the door. That would help, wouldn't it? Right, I'm just going to click off of the thing and slide the game up a little bit. Hopefully the game should be okay now. It was actually muted. Right, lock doors. SCR stream, SCR stream, SCR stream. Train Sim 99. Maybe. Maybe one day. Right. Into forward. Ah, not off. Right, that's the first. Nose up. Off we go. See, in reality on a 377, if you were to take the key off and put it back on again, you'd have to go through the door configuration again, and it would take you absolutely ages before you can start moving. So unmarked crossovers are always 15 miles an hour. So if you've got a crossover with no marked speed, it is always 15 miles an hour, except where local instructions dictate otherwise. Yeah, press Q for the AWS. Yeah, I normally do that when I'm driving along, to be fair. Is the game audio okay, everyone's now? George, greetings from Norwich. Greetings from sunny Hastings. Officially Charles, Spaddy Daddy. Hashtag Spadrail. Right, let's get going. So, let's just check where we're stopping. Redhill, Merstham, Coulston South, Purley, East Croydon, Clapham Junction and London Victoria. This train is formed of 4 coaches. If you're stopped in forward, will DSD still go off? Yeah, all the time you're in away from neutral typing scroll, the DSD is activated. So even if you're stopped, you'll need to keep your foot on the pedal unless you go into neutral. So it's really steep downhill going towards Redhill. When you work RHTT trains, leaf busing trains, you have to be really aware of the gradient because you can run away very quickly. Pig and Bob, spad for the fans, mate. I won't do it deliberately, but it'll probably happen. You know me. Welcome Tok Gaming. What a good username, Tok Gaming. Welcome Tok Gaming to Dad Rail. Leo's Trains, Mum Rail driving. Mum Rail. Should we get Mum Rail in the seat? Should we give her a go? Right, I better get some brakes in. We're coming down towards Redhill. I thought I had the destination markers, the objective markers turned off actually. I just need to work out why they've turned themselves back on. The only aid I've got turned on, obviously I've got no speed limit or signal markers, the only aid I've got turned on is the stop car markers because some of them are missing in the game. Kieran, you always want to shout out. Right, so we've got a 20 just down the bottom, then we're dropping into platform 0 at Redhill. Yeah, let Mum Rail drive.
With Crash.
What do you think, Mum Rail? She's sitting over there. Do you want to have a go?
No, with Crash.
With Crash. That's why they put you on rails. See, the handy thing about that view, there we go, platform 0 on the theatre box. The handy thing about that view is no one could see that I was speeding around the corner. Fishbowl, I'd love to see Mum Rail driving. You give the public what they want.
I'll press the button.
I'll tell you what, I'll let her blow the horn. Peter Green, I've mapped my flight rudders to the DSD pedals. It's not 100% accurate, but better than endlessly smashing key. Yeah, that's a really good idea, Peter. I've got flight sim set up with rudder pedals, so I could do that. Is there kind of a way to do it in reverse though? So you need to keep your foot on it constantly, or the emergency brakes come on. I wonder if you could reverse the controls somehow. Because obviously, prototypically, you need to keep your feet on it all the time. So I just wonder if you could do that on the rudder pedals. Platform 0 at Redhill, which again doesn't look great if I'm being honest. I'm not sure why the limits come down to 15 there, because we should be 20 all the way into platform 0. Four for the 4. Oh, straight into brake step 3. That's a good start. It's because I was driving the networker last week. I'm going with that excuse. Right, neutral, open the doors. No one's getting on. They've seen us driving. Ken K34, welcome to Dadra. Ah, now they're getting on. Now they're getting on. I mean, you can't blame them. They've seen the driver. Yeah, that's a shame, Peter. It'd be really good if you could just sort of reverse the commands somehow. Well, look at that southeastern train coming through. There is one southeastern train a day that goes through Red Hill in each direction on a route refreshing trip. But yeah, sometimes at weekends you'll see them coming through. Kieran Walsh wants his shout out. There we go. Kieran Walsh has his shout out. Wait until 7:41. Dad, this train have cruise control. It's at the right side from the car numbers. Yes, but in real life we're not allowed to use it, and it may have been disabled on here now. When we get moving, I'll check. Certainly the original 377 version on the East Coastway, the cruise control worked, the speed set worked, but I believe it has been disabled as it has been in real life now as well. Wait until 7:40. Oh, we got absolutely loads of dwell time. We've got enough time to do that. So guys, as always when we're doing live streams, we've got the Discord open. We're in the live stream chat section of Discord. We should be. We're not in the live stream chat section of Discord, but let's change that right now. Doobie doobie doo. If I can find it. Live stream picture posts. There we go. Hopefully you've got that up now. Yeah, so if you do want to join our Discord server, you can find the link in the description below for that. And then, of course, if you go into the live stream pictures channel and post your pictures in there, we'll be very happy to get them up on the screen. So, who is looking forward? We've got a few minutes before we go. Who is looking forward to the 313 release from Dovetail Games? I've been keeping an eye on the videos that have been coming out, and it looks very, very good. Thoroughly looking forward to driving it. I was hoping to get my hands on it a little bit early, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, unfortunately. But certainly on Thursday, I'm going to do East Coastway with it, and I'm going to do the Brighton Main Line with it, so we can go through all the all the scenarios on it, all the routes it can be driven on. I don't know if the 313 is a reskin of the. Is it 314 on the Cathcart Circle? I want to say. I don't know if it's a reskin of that or not, but the pictures I've seen, it does look really, really good. Typing Squirrel, do you like Class 800s and what's your opinion on Lumo? Typing Squirrel, I've never been on an 800. I think they look quite nice. And Lumo, I am all for open access operators. Open access operations is a superb idea, and I think we need more of them to create a bit of competition in the marketplace. Some of their prices are crazy cheap as well. Next time I'm going up north, which will be beginning of next year sometime, I'm certainly going to travel with Lumo. Ian Bradley, are you ever going to do a mainline route, say on the East Coast Main Line? Yeah, we can certainly give that a go. I want to move over to some Train Sim Classic, some Open BV and some other bits and bobs, so we can definitely give that a go. Right, how long have we got before we go? We've still got like a minute and a half. Let's see what's going on in the Discord. 73's by Charles Transport Photography there. We do love a good 73, we really do. Once again, if you're not already in the Discord, you can find the link in the description below. KenK34, loving these streams. Thank you very much. That's really appreciated. Fishbowl, do you have Cathcart Circle on Train Sim? I'd love to see a stream on something that isn't down south. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I've kind of been a bit biased to the south, haven't I? Which is, of course, where I live. No, I haven't. But yeah, I'd certainly will get that route and we'll have a go at that. We can work for all the routes on Train Sim for sure. Just someone just asked about a DMU there. I saw someone asking about a DMU. Where's that post gone? Sean Brockway Games, have you driven any DMUs, Dad Rail? Not in real life, Sean. No, I've not been lucky enough to drive any DMUs. I've driven the Class 73 locomotive. Class 66, 69s. That's the only diesel stock I've driven. Everything else I've driven's been electric. Although you could argue that, of course, that the 73 is electric as well, but hybrid. Hybrid, I think, is the correct word. Right, so I think we are more or less ready to go. Should have closed the doors 30 seconds before departure. Ian Bradley, have you driven an Azuma? No, I have not driven an Azuma. I haven't even ridden on an Azuma, to to be completely honest with you, but I need to get out and about on the network a bit more and kind of explore some of the new units that are on offer. Wheelie, my name Jeff. Wasn't there a meme or something of that a little while ago? It was like, my name is Jeff. Was that a thing? She's laughing at me. Mum Row's laughing. Right. Right, we're off to Merstham. Southampton's train spotter, are you training on the Class 69s? I already trained on the Class 69s. I already passed out on those. Not that they're in full working order yet. They've still got a few teething problems with them, but they'll be very good locos when they're out and about, and I really look forward to taking one out in anger. Right, off we go. Merstham is our next stop. Should be a substation up here on the left, which is Holmthorpe substation, which they've got there. So I say I don't think they've paid as much attention on the slow lines as what they have on the quarry lines. I think the slow lines between Red Hill and Stoatsnest Junction were kind of put in afterwards. I mean, that's the impression I got. It might not be that case, but they don't seem as detailed as the rest of the route, unfortunately. Maxwell Wayne Shepherd ironing board seats. Yeah, lots of trains have got those now, Max, unfortunately. Apparently they're more fire resistant. That's the reason they put them in. So normally this signal coming up would be my breaking point for Merstham. So we're going to go into brake step 1 there. We've only got 4 cars on as well. Blast the horn! Matthew Rice, have you driven on the Chiltern main lines before? I haven't, no. Mumral, our Russian friend in the chat, is sending you much love from Moscow. She says, ah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we have got stop car marks on this station, which is good, because some of the stations I noticed don't have stop car marks, which is why, as I said earlier, I've kept it turned on. Step 3, neutral, 4 on the 4, open the door. TR9 train spotting, apparently on Lumo Class 803s they don't have ironing board seats. That's certainly very good to hear. What have we got in the Discord, guys? Ah, there we go. We have some classic intercity traction. We got the 390 there. We got the. I'm going to get this wrong, aren't I? Is that a 91 or a 92? It's a 91. Or is it a 90? It's a 91. It's got to be a 91. It's an intercity 225. That's how I know it. And an 800 as well. Ah, look, there's some proper traction. Proper traction. That looks like the inside of a First Capital Connect 319 Squirrel. Tell me if I'm wrong. That looks like an FCC 319. Your train is delayed because the driver was talking in Discord. Ding ding. Oh, those were the days. Right, we're off to Coulson South. Opinions on IC3 going through Eurotunnel. I think the Eurotunnel is severely underused. We have services to France. I think there's one that goes to Belgium now. There might be one to Amsterdam. But it's such an underused facility. We could have overnight sleepers in there going halfway across Europe. I believe there's a lot of politics involved with that, but it'd be really, really good to have more stuff through there. Even freight traffic. There's like hardly any freight traffic that goes through there now. There's only a sort of couple of trains a day. And it's so underused. They can make so much more use of it. The Great Ostrich Egg time. Interesting. Mum Rail's now eating lollies. Keep it on time, Richard. Keep it on time. Ian Bradley, keep it on time. We're trying. The one thing I have noticed with this release of the 377, typically a 4-car 377 will accelerate much faster than an 8-car or say a 12-car. 12 cars are a lot slower. The reason is because obviously there's more motors and more auxiliary converters. They're taking more current out of the third rail. So there isn't as much current available for each traction motor. They sort of limit themselves to stop them tripping the juice out. So yeah, 4-car should accelerate quite it's considerably faster than a 12-car, but they don't seem to have simulated that. They seem to all be the same, which, you know, is maybe a bit nitpicky of me, but it's just something, having driven them, that I noticed. But I don't suppose sort of if you hadn't driven one, you wouldn't know. So yeah, maybe being a little bit too particular there. So the speed limit does actually drop to 75 in a minute at a place called Star Lane Substation, or Star Lane Bridge. Peter Green, it's too cold for lollies. You should be in here, Peter. She's got the heating turned up full blast. Trust me, I'm sitting here with these streaming lights on me, with the computer going, and oh, there's me 75. I was talking about the 75, but I didn't slow down for it. And you'd always know coming along here because you can see the signal on the fast line to your left. If you had a green and the signal on the fast line had 2 yellows, it was quite likely you were going to be crossed over at Stoats Nest, which was nice. Just like that's coming up. So what you'd normally do is you go past this signal here, you'd be dropping step 1. You come around the corner, there's a car dealership just around the corner in real life. And it's really well lit up at night. So you come around the corner, as you see the car dealership, you drop the brakes in. It's kind of that building there. I think that's what's supposed to represent it. But yeah, that's always your braking point for Coulston South. Maxwell, did you hear about the bird strike yesterday on Southern? Oh, I didn't, Maxwell, no. Bird strikes are not that uncommon though. They do happen quite a lot. We're going to overshoot this. We might just about be okay. Brake step 3 is bad. So yeah, I've used my braking point that I'd use in real life there, and it hasn't come in as it would have done in real life. So, but I mean, yeah, that's just me being really particular, I think. Brake step 2, come on, stop! Right, 3, we're on the platform, that's all that matters. Neutral doors. Jack Neal says, thank you Mum Rail for all the work she does in the NHS. She's smiling, look. She's smiling.
Thank you.
I can move this one. This one's portable. Say hello Mum Rail.
Hi, thank you.
You gonna drive the train for us later?
I'll blow the horn.
She'll blow the horn. Now, boys and girls. Yeah, we're running on time as well. And coming to the stations that fast, I'm not surprised. Best time to have lollies when it's cold. Helps to warm you up.
Absolutely.
Is brake step 3 really that bad in a real train? I know the brakes on this don't seem particularly good, if I'm being completely honest with you. Let's go into forward. Green signal, off we go. Your speed limit's 75, 80, and then it drops to 60 just after Stoats Nest Junction. If you're going over Stoats Nest Junction onto the fast lines, you'll get position 1 route indicator for the next signal, 70 miles an hour across the junction, and it's 90 all the way to South Croydon. Older, I swear the 465 I took home today overshot Pet's Wood a bit. Richard, it's the real Kieran Welsh. I feel this is getting a bit like Rick rolling now. Welshy. Right, so let's just double check. We are going to Purley. Officially Charles, one driver overshot yesterday and just jumped out the cab, looked at the train and then got back in. Yeah, as long as the first set of passenger doors is on the platform, then you got away with it. Yeah, it says you're warning for your 60. You've got the 377 there's just leaving Reedham, heading towards Coulson Town on the Tatton Corner line. A line I do indeed sign. Caterham and Tattenham lines. Cats and Tats, as we call them. Yeah, there we go, Max. You had to do it, didn't you? You had to say it. Yes, we're getting some brakes in for Pearly. Yeah, the brakes on this don't seem to be performing very well at all. It could be me. It could be me. Okay, that's interesting. That speed limit there should be a 60. That is definitely not an 80. Yeah, that's quite interesting because you can see on the HUD that the HUD speed is updated to 60, which is where it should be. But the sign at the side of the track said 80. So that's one that needs reporting into Dovetail. Peter Green, ballast isn't fun to walk on. No, definitely not. Yeah, and you can see at Pearly as well, guys. Look, there's no stop car marks. They've missed the stop car marks off at Pearly. That's why I've got the display on. 3 neutral doors. Just confirm it's not me. Yeah. We have no 4-car stop marks. We do have, if we sprint up the platform, not bumping into anyone. Yeah, we got the 10 and 12, but we haven't got the 4, 6 and 8s.
Always try to carry a bottle of water with you. If you feel faint, seek help at the next station. Do not use
Drop some sand. Yeah, maybe it is wheel slip that's causing it. Wait until 0754. Yeah, I mean it could be lower diesel that's causing the brake issue, but typically I'd expect to see sort of the speedo bobbing up and down, and I'd expect to see the brake gauge fluctuating where it's got its WSP activity going on. So it doesn't feel like it's that. Your brakes would normally bite and then release. You'd be sliding as opposed to just having poor braking performance overall. Yeah, Jack Newell, wrong speed board. Yeah, the speed's correct on the heads-up display. It's just the wrong board. Green signal. Helps if we go into forward. And we're off to East Croydon. Peter Green, I was on a 465 that hit the back of another one in 2001. We had to be evacuated by the fire brigade down a ladder to the track and then up onto the platform. Was it Hither Green? Wow. Ian Bradley, engineer put too much oil on. Tea's all gone. Mum rail, the tea's all gone.
When you're at work, am I there to make your tea? Do you have to wait for your next?
That's a good answer. I can't argue with that one, can I?
Realistic?
I can't argue with that. Right, it's quite a steep downhill gradient here and it's 60 all the way, so I should be sort of up to 55 and then let it roll. Harry Harrison, definitely agree with you about the brakes on East Coastway where drivers normally brake for Polegate at 90, tracing mode you'd fly through the platform still doing 50. Yeah, I had it last time with Merston when we were on the down journey a couple of weeks ago. I had the same thing happen. I put the brakes on where I would have done in real life and like nearly didn't stop at the platform. So either the brakes are not right or the line's not the line's been sort of scaled down and condensed a bit. Wheelie, get your own tea. Yeah. She's left the room, but it's not to get me a cup of tea. She's a good girl, bless her. So we're coming into South Croydon here. We do this move on the RHTT trains. You have to have position 4 route indicator if you're turning back and going down towards Sanderstead and Oxted, Hurst Green, East Grinstead, Uckfield, all those good places. So we're 60 all the way through here. If you're on the fast lines, you're 90, but you drop to 60 at South Croydon. Our next speed restriction will be 45 just before the platforms at East Croydon. Daniel Digby, good evening. Monts, when passing platforms, do you have to blast the horn? No. No, there's no requirement. Unless there's a whistle board, there's no requirement to sound the horn when you're going through the platform. Some drivers will. It's just down to you know, if you see people standing on the edge of the platform, then I would. But there's no requirement to do so. Double yellow. That means our red is... Excuse me, our red is before East Croydon. Signals close up quite nicely here, so we're going to get some braking.
I need to charge my phone. I won't make you coffee then.
Yeah, see there she read before East Croydon. I should be doing no more than 20 at the magnet, which we have well and truly failed to do. If you were downloaded by a manager and you went over an AWS magnet doing more than 20, you'd be pulled up for that. But that's not a rule, that's something that will be outlined in your company's driving policy. I know South East and Southern it's 20 at the AWS magnet, and my company that I work for at the moment is 10 miles an hour at the AWS magnet. And that's something they'd be looking out for on a download. Fly with Siren, it's Emily on an alternate account. When you say Emily, do you mean Northern Princess? Yeah, see the amount of brake I'm having to put into stop there is just not good. So step 3, DRA neutral. That is what's known as securing the train. Now, what I want to know now is if this is going to bug out and we're just going to end up sitting here and the train in front's not going to move, which will be really, really irritating, or whether it's all going to be good. We're not due into East Croydon until 8 o'clock and 30 seconds, so it may just be that we're just running a little bit ahead of schedule. Peter Green and TPWS is 10 miles an hour, not necessarily approaching a signal, Peter. TPWS will be set at. TPWS won't necessarily prevent you from spadding, but it will stop you. It's designed to stop you within the overlap beyond the signal. So normally if you've got, say you've got a signal on a junction where you've got two lines converging, the signal will be set back obviously a distance before the junction. It won't be right on top of it, and the TPWS might not stop you going past the signal, but it will stop you before you reach the conflict zone where you could potentially hit another train. That's providing you're not speeding, obviously. So we've got the road into forward, one yellow, red's at the end of the platform. Oh, bit of lag going on there. Fly with Siren, yeah, it's me, mate. How are we doing this evening? Yeah, brake step 3 to stop there. I mean, come on, it's just... That's close enough. Right, 2 yellows. 3, neutral. Open the doors. Dadral, put on slow mode on next stream. We had slow mode on the previous stream and a few people complained about it, so I took it off. Southampton Trainspotting, what is your favourite class 73 to drive? A lot of people ask me what my favourite 73 is or what my favourite 66 is, and a lot of people don't like my answer, I'm afraid, but once you get in them, they're all pretty much the same. So I don't have a favourite to drive as such. You know, they kind of all drive more or less the same. Some of them are a bit better than others, but Yeah, so I don't really have a favourite, if I'm being completely honest with you. Right, we're running on time and we're going to Clapham Junction. Into forward. Off we go. It's 45 leaving here, drops down to 40 at Windmill. There's two junction here. One's called Cottage and one's called Windmill. I can never remember which one's which. One's at the top of the hill and one's at the bottom. But it drops to 40 when we get to the first one, at the bottom of the hill. Yes, yeah, so it is 45. We're only going to go up to 40 because the limit's going to come down anyway. Thanks for joining us, Jack. I'm off now as my girlfriend wants me to have a good evening. Have a good evening, Jack. Thanks for joining us. Incidentally, Jack is one of my Patreon supporters. If you want to become a Patreon supporter like Jack, you can visit patreon.com/dadrail. Yeah, typing screw. If a driver goes mad and speeds towards a terminus, would there be a system to stop the train, or are they able to override all the safety systems? Yeah, these little switches up here that you can't see behind the door, you can isolate all the safety systems you want. So yes, technically it is possible for the driver to isolate all the safety systems and do something quite horrendous. So we're coming through Selhurst. Now, I believe the last signal we went over was wrong. It had route indicators to the right to keep us on the slow lines. I'm speeding massively. I believe that signal actually has route indicators to the left if you're crossing over to the fast line. You'd have main aspect only for the slow lines. So that's another thing that... but again, it's me being pedantic and really fussy because it doesn't really affect the gameplay at all. Right, there we go. We're up to 70, pretty much all the way to Clapham. Henry Yendall, hopefully the train company's vet driver, so that won't happen. Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, you go through regular medicals and stuff like that, Henry. Companies are really good with kind of, you have wellbeing champions and lots of mental health support and stuff like that. So, it's obviously we had an incident with the aeroplane, didn't we, a few years ago with it. The pilot decided to commit suicide on it, which is obviously really sad. You know, there was always kind of the Reigate disaster as well. And they never kind of reached a conclusion as to exactly what had happened in that situation. Yeah, so, I mean, it like I say, it's possible, but fortunately it's rare. Typing Squirrel, your answers are very good and clear, Dadrail. You're a really good YouTube. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Not so good at driving though. Yeah, so let's just check if the speed set works. I believe, as it has in real life, it's been disabled. Yeah, no, you can't even bring it up and down now. So yeah, it's been disabled. On 375 800s, this button's actually the anti-ice button. No, sorry, on all 375s, this is the anti-ice button. But anti-ice is only fitted to 375 800s. So basically, on the 375 800 series stock, they've got anti-icing equipment located underneath the train. It's a big tank of similar stuff to what you spray on your car windscreen in the winter. And they've got an additional collector shoe that runs along the third rail. And if the driver has an 800 series... Get back! If a driver has an 800 series in their formation, they can press the anti-ice button at the front and it'll start laying down anti-ice fluid from the 800 series train. Fishbowl, not so good at driving though, but you're a real train driver. Yeah, but Fishbowl, when I'm driving a real train, I'm not looking at the live stream chat, honestly. Ross Coles, welcome to Dadrail. Can we see outside view? Yeah, of course we can. She looks beautiful. Her big chopper. Where are we? Coming through Norbury by the way. No, that's Streatham. Streatham Common, that is. I should be driving through there tomorrow. Typing Squirrel, why did they... and cruise will activate. No, you... yeah, you can see there it doesn't work. And we've got no up and down command on it. Even if we got power on. Oh no, if we got power on it's... Okay, that's interesting. Yes, so no, prototypically you had to have the power had to be on in order to get the speed set to work, but you could still move the little bug up and down. So they haven't disabled it then, it's just the driver being an idiot. Yeah, in real life we're not allowed to use it. Train simulator driver, good morning. Morning? Good morning. It might be morning where you are, it's certainly not here. So we're coming up towards Balham. Don't forget guys, if you are just joining us in the stream, 82 of you lovely people watching us today, then please do hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Dad Rail. I knew there was a 60 there, honestly. It goes down to 50 or 40 on the slows. Like I said before, driving freight trains, we don't tend to go above 60, so any speed limits above 60, we tend to forget about them. If you are going to the West London line, so platform 16 at Clapham Junction, you must cross over here at Balham. This is your last place you can cross over. That comes down to your route knowledge. So if you're going up to Imperial Wharf, West Brompton, Kensington Olympia, Shepherd's Bush, Willesden Junction, or around to South West Sidings and all those good places, you must cross over at that signal onto the fast lines, or slow line, sorry, or you are not going there. Ross Coles, how long have you been working on the railway for? Just short of 15 years at the moment, Ross. Typing Squirrel, the needle to the left of the brake gauge, this one here is your main reservoir pressure. So the needle on the right shows you how much pressure you've got in your brake cylinder, and the needle on the left shows you how much you've got in your main reservoir. So your main air reservoir, Lance 2021, welcome to Dead Rail. Your main air reservoir provides things like the two yellows, and these signals are quite close here. Provides things like the air suspension supply, the toilets, the internal sliding doors, the horns, all things like that feed off the air reservoir, as well as the brakes themselves, but you have separate brake reservoir tanks as well. Incidentally, the gauge will only show what the leading coach's brakes are doing. It won't show you what the brakes are doing down the rest of the train. So it is possible that the brakes are on down the rest of the train, but you're not showing on the gauge. This will only show you what the leading coach is doing. Dean J40, 1 yellow, red ahead. What is the longest you're allowed to drive before you're required to take a break? It depends on your company's instructions. Typically between 5 and 6 hours. I think 6 hours is the absolute maximum, but some companies have things in place where you can have what they call an operational stop of 20 minutes, and then you can drive for longer. Red ahead. There's the AWS magnet, so we want to be down to no more than 20 for that. Yep, there's a sound problem on this signal as well. The AWS fired off there, but you didn't get the sound. I've had that on a couple of signals now. Apparently it's a problem because there's too many sounds playing and it runs out of available channels to play the sound on. I'm not sure how true that is. And we are stopping. You aim to stop a coach length away from the signal. That's the kind of standard. But yeah, that brake step one should be stopping me easily, and it's hardly doing anything. Oh, we got 1 yellow. Keep going then. Thank you very much. Mark Castle, have you driven the Class 69 yet? Yes, I drove it when I was assessed on it, but I haven't been out on it since, unfortunately. They've got a few issues with them at the moment, but they'll be very good locos once they're up and running. Blob, is it difficult to drive at night? Not particularly, no. if I'm being honest. As long as you know your route well and you know your landmarks and what you're looking out for, then not at all. In some respects, it's easier because the signals stand out really well at night. Right, 4 for the 4 doors on the left. 1 yellow, last signal, red ahead. Lots to remember. Yeah, no AWS sound on that one again. And no stop car markers at Clapham Junction. So we go step 3, DRA, neutral, and open the doors. So I just want to confirm that I haven't missed something. Oh, look, someone's bugging out on the doors.
Do not use the emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
Yeah, no stop car markers there. Clapham doesn't look too bad. It's not great, but it's a good representation, which of course is what they're aiming for. I shall be at Clapham Junction tomorrow morning. I shall be going there early tomorrow morning. Wait until 8, 12 and 30. No, we're not doing that. We're going to leave early. Set the DRA, because the signal's green, into forward. London Victoria is our next stop. Monty's, what notch of power is you usually use for departure? If you're departing on a dry rail with green signals, then there's no reason at all why you can't just use notch 4. If you're departing on 1 yellow, most companies' driving policies will say something like 50% power. If you're driving on a wet rail, sorry, I've lost my chain of thought. Yeah, no, if you're driving on a wet rail, then you might want to use a bit slower power just so it doesn't wheel slip. Do you ever get bugged passengers in real life, Matthew? I don't think I'm allowed to answer that. Lots of passengers are bugged. So, position 1 on that signal there takes you down to Pope Arts Junction, down to Long Edge Junction. That will take you down to Stewart's Lane Depot, Battersea Yard. You can either continue down there and come back up to London Victoria on the southeastern side, or you can continue down there, come up at Wandsworth Road and head down towards Denmark Hill, Brixton, all that sort of way, but not in that order. Henry Yandel, what would happen in real life if you left early? The platform staff would have a lot of angry people moaning at them. They get a lot of angry people moaning at them when you leave on time. And when you leave late. People like to moan at platform staff. BT, how close is the 377 realism? It's not too bad, actually. We're saying the brakes seem a bit funky, but that only seems today. The brakes have been alright on the other runs I've done, but they don't seem very good today. Wondering if that's some sort of low adhesion simulation they've got set up. But yeah, no, I like it. It certainly looks very nice, and most of the systems are pretty well done as well. Southampton Transport, have you had any near misses with idiots at crossings? Not particularly, no. The speed limit does drop somewhere up here. Yeah, I don't sign this route past Pope Arts Junction. I don't sign the last bit into Victoria, so we'll creep along slowly and hope for the best. 2 yellows, 387 coming the other way. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, he's bugging out. There's your 45 on Gravesend Bridge there. Maxwell Wayne Shepherd, Dad Rail, what would happen if there was a main res air leak? Complicated, lots of complicated procedures, Max, to isolate. Sometimes you can isolate the leak and carry on going, sometimes you can't. It depends on lots of different factors. 1 yellow, red ahead. Gradient down into Vic is very steep as well. Yeah, Peter Green. Yeah, as you just said, there's steep downhill gradient into the platforms. Typing squirrel, why don't you go closer to the buffers? 6 foot is the standard typing squirrel. That's where they want us to stop. So we're actually running pretty early. We're not doing bad for time. 104 of you lovely people in the stream tonight. You are very welcome. If you're just joining us here and you haven't seen me before, I am Richard, aka Dadrail. Real life train driver. Used to be a passenger mixing my words up. Used to be a passenger driver for Southeastern, and now I work for a freight company whose trains are normally the same colour as Southeastern's. Let's put it that way. Yeah, see that on brake step 1, even with the gradient there, that should be stopping. I mean, it is slowing down, but that should just be stopped. As soon as you stop. That's very prototypical in real life. If we've got any railway staff in, you'll know what I mean. As soon as you stop your train, the signal clears every time. So it's almost like the signalman's watching and waiting. Platform 17, 1 yellow. Slap that like button, all Matthew says. Absolutely. Do please slap that like button. It helps those YouTube algorithms to recommend my videos a little bit more. Left J, what train are you driving tomorrow? I'm on an RHTT service tomorrow, 3 Whiskey 90. If you look that up on Real Time Trains, you'll find it. Wolf Boy, welcome to Dadrail. Yeah, if you look 3 Whiskey 90 up on Real Time Trains, that's the train I'll be driving from Clapham Junction tomorrow. It'll either be a Class 73 or a Class 66. 15 as you hit the platform ramps is the standard for any terminal station. And then 10 for the TPWS loops, which are not fitted in this game, I believe. They are in Train Sim Classic, but they're not fitted in Train Sim World, which is a little bit of a shame. Typing squirrel, I dropped my phone off the Golden Gate Bridge, so it smashed the light button. Yeah, I like that. We've hit 100 viewers. We haven't now, according to my thing, we've dropped down to 93. We've lost some people. They've gone. Just wonder if the official Train Sim stream must have finished. SE Electrics, why is 3 Whiskey 75 cancelled most of the time? 3 Whiskey 75 is a standby train that only runs as required. That's why it'd be cancelled a lot of the time. Yeah, so it's a runs as required service. Step 3, DRA, neutral, doors open. Then we're going to off, tail lights on. I mean, we could put them in auto. When I take my key off, they'll turn on if we're in auto. But sometimes it likes me to lock the doors before we shut down, so we just leave that for a second. See what score we get. Pivot Tech, guys, come back indeed. Yes. Older Dabra, what class of train have you driven in your life? Officially, as it stands at the moment, I'm competent on the class 66, 69, 73 and 73-9s. In the past, I've driven 375s, 377s, 376s, 465s, 466s, 395s. I think that's it officially. What I've driven unofficially, I'm not going to reveal on a stream in case my manager's watching. Paul B, nice drive, Dadrail. Thank you. Dadrail makes trains a little bit more interesting. What can I say? How do we get on? Not too bad, not too bad. Little bit of speeding going on there. Incidentally, this diagram here is pretty much how the download looks. If your train gets downloaded by your manager, it is literally just like squiggly lines like this showing your speed, your brake pressure, door status. It's just loads of lines on a graph that they can read and interpret because they're quite clever like that. Right. Let's have a walk around and see if we can find a Brighton service. I just want to do a fast one down to Brighton, and that will be it for today, I think. Jason Cumberbatch, welcome to Dead Rail. Return to free roam. So, off, key out. The amount of times it's happened where I've forgot my key, you've turned it off and you forgot the key because because you're getting your bag out or whatever else. You get up to the other end of the train, it's, oh damn, I haven't got my key. Normally it's when it's a 12 car and it's in the peak and you're late out, so you have to go all the way down the platform to get your key. Right, so let's see what we've got leaving soon.
For your safety and comfort, this station
We might just
operates a
restart and find
non-smoking
another
policy.
service, but
This includes e-cigarettes.
Littlehampton and Orr. Going to Hastings. Oh, we're not waiting till 8:46 anyway. Gatwick Airport. And I've done a Gatwick. I want to do one all the way down to Brighton. I think they're normally on the other platforms, aren't they? 8:43 Brighton. On time. Where does that stop? Just Gatwick Airport and Brighton. That's the Gatwick Express one, isn't it? 8:43 to Brighton. Yeah, let's hop on that service. Yeah, Maxwell, do a Gatwick Express service to Brighton. So while I'm getting that service up, let's put the Discord up. So if you're not already in our Discord server, do feel free to hop over there and join. Link in the description below. Welcome Cole White to Dadrail. Yeah, link in the description below. Go over there, live stream pictures. Go and post your pictures in there and they'll come up on the screen. And I'm just trying to find the 8:43 to Brighton. Timetable. I tell you, I'm going to do a summer run just to see if that affects the brakes. And it should be an 08. That's interesting. There isn't a 43 to Brighton. There's a 41 to Brighton. Yeah, we'll do that one. They're all good. Oh, the Mr. I can't say what his name is on the forum, but the driver in the bottom is one of my colleagues, top bloke. And a lovely 37.9 there, Euro Phoenix. You may be seeing a few more of those on the Southeastern Network soon, but I didn't tell you that. Can you drive a Class 387? Yeah, we're in the 387 now, SE Electrics. Let's jump back into the game. So, here we are, 387. Never driven one of these in real life. I've never had the opportunity to. But I believe the course to learn these, if you sign 375s and 377s, the course to drive one of these is about 2 hours long. Howling Wolves 70, welcome to Dadrail. So I think the safety systems are already in, if I remember rightly on this. Oh no, they're not, we need to put them in. There we go. So, key in, into forward, cancel the AWS, day running on the lights and off, and we're going to unlock doors on the off side. .387 Gatwick Express platform 13. We've got a G. Like I said, I don't sign Victoria, so I've got no idea what the G means. Wait until 08:43. Let's get in the seat ready to go all the same. What have we got in the chat? Kenzie O'Callaghan, do you enjoy doing these streams? Yeah, very much so. They're quite kind of laid back and chilled, and I don't stress too much about it. And if we bugger up, we bugger up, and we just try and answer some of your questions. I missed quite a lot of your questions. I do apologise for that, Mars. I'm just looking for your question now. Trainspotting, does the screen still say 377? Yes, it does. Obviously, that's something they haven't updated yet. G equals Gatwick. Yeah, quite possibly, but I doubt it would be Gatwick. It could just be Area G. I mean, because obviously you've got trains that will go out in that section. So you've got fast lines, slow lines, relief lines. Yeah, so it could be G, but I very much doubt it's G. I can find out though. What's the recruitment process for South East and what tests do you do? Stop at location, Gatwick Airport. Do you mean for driver, Mars, or do you mean for platform staff? You forgot the door window. Let's have it down.
For your safety and comfort, this station operates a no-smoking policy.
Richard, you're my G. Yeah, because it could be signals A, B, C, D, E, F, G, depending on what line you're going out on, which would be more logical. Yeah, you've got an E there. You can see up there, there's an E on the gantry, so E, F, G. So that would be G section. So that would be part of your route knowledge. Yes, driver. So it's changed a lot since I've done my driver training with South Eastern, my initial assessment. But you'll have like an online customer service assessment where they'll ask you general customer service questions, because train driving is all about customer service as well. You are passenger driver, you're responsible for the passengers on the train, you need to make announcements, you are ultimately your customer service staff. You're just a train driver as well as. Once you've passed that, you'll get invited up to the assessment centre, which used to be in London. I believe it might be in Tunbridge now, and you'll sit a series of tests. Now they are constantly changing the tests that you have to sit. You'll do something called the Group Borden, Group Bowden DOTS test. If you Google that, you'll find more information on that. We also had to do like a memory test, a trainability test, which is where they get you to read through a passage. You get 5 minutes to read through a passage and study it, and then they ask you questions on the passage. They take it away from you and ask you questions on it. You'll also do like a reactions test on a computer. So you'll have like a keyboard in front of you, and it has different colour buttons, and then you've got 2 pedals as well, and you've got earphones on. So the earphones will play like a high tone or a low tone. You have to press the corresponding high and low buttons. You'll also get like things flash up at the bottom of the screen. If you get the left bottom, you press the left pedal. You get the right bottom, you press the right pedal. And in addition to that, you'll have colour lights that flash up on the screen. You need to press the colour light at the same time. That's like coordination and stuff like that. They also do like a fault finding test, which is where you have like dials on gauges, and you sort of have to prioritise and sort them all out. It's really hard to kind of explain all the tests, but and that they do keep changing. So that's what I done. Oh, and then you had an interview as well at the actual assessment centre where they just wanted examples of like where you've dealt with things under pressure, emergency situations and stuff like that. So it's something I really want to make a video on, is the assessment process side of it, but because it changes so much and it's like 8, 9, 10 years maybe since I've done mine, I can't do it as accurately as I want to. So if there's anyone that's done it recently, get in contact with me and tell me what the tests are, because I'd love to put some advice and some videos out about it. Paul B, seeing loads of signals together on gantries looks like a challenge. Yeah, it can be, Paul, but that's where your route knowledge comes into play. And of course, when you've got multiple signals on gantries, especially if you're on curves and stuff like that, or you have the potential to do what they call read across. So you'll be looking for your signal, and because you're on a curve, you might read the signal next to yours, so you can misread the signals. But your route knowledge will sort of guide you with that, and sort of you'll know where the potential misreads are. Same if you're on a long straight section of track, and you might be able to see the next 5 or 6 signals. It's very easy to maybe miss the one you're looking at and look at the one after it. It's called a read through, so it's sort of really, really real risks. Two yellows, just trying to read. TR9 train spot. Are you driving the RHCT tomorrow from Clapham Junction? If so, what's head code? Yeah, 3 Whiskey 90, and that will be me on it. It's slightly retimed tomorrow, so have a look on real-time trains. Yeah, it could take a long time for the trainee vacancies to come up, Mars, but it'd be well worth the wait in the end. Okay, so why have my brakes come on? That is very interesting. I wasn't paying attention, I'll give you that. So the first thing I'm going to look at after emergency brake application is the TPWS light. So SPAD, overspeed and AWS lights are not flashing. But it looks like the AWS was going off because I've reset the AWS and the sunflowers come in. Normally though, even if the AWS was causing a problem, you'd have the AWS light would be flashing on the TPWS. I'm guessing that's another sound issue then, because it definitely didn't fire off. And that seems to be quite a common thing where the AWS sound is missing, which is not good at all. Yeah, no AWS bell again. Yeah, not good at all, that. So yeah, normally we need to wait 60 seconds for it to time out. We'd also be getting on our GSMR, we'd be pressing that little button there. Does the SG button work on this? No. We'll be pressing that little button there, calling the signalman, explaining what's happened. And then we would need to complete what's called an RT3185 form before the end of duty and hand it into our manager. Missing an AWS is normally not going to be the end of the world, but if you start doing it regularly, you're going to be called into your manager's office for a little chat. Right, we're supposed to be fast to Gatwick, aren't we? So off we go. Maxwell, tomorrow will be either a 66 or a 73. I haven't had a look yet which one it will be. Most likely a 73, because 66s are banned from the Uckfield line without special dispensation. Yeah, James was saying about the AWS sound there. That's pretty poor, actually. Not poor, it's just annoying. Yeah, well, that one's green. I'm cancelling it like mad. That one's green. Right, so we're going. We should have some southwestern trains on the western side as well. I think you do get an HST on there on one of the scenarios, which is... I don't think HSTs have ever run through Clapham, so it's not very prototypical. Peter Green, bug. Ross Coles, my uncle once ran me through a service from London Houston to Milton Keynes Central on YouTube. Told me literally everything going on the route. Yeah, that comes. Your route knowledge is, will be really in depth. You're only as good as your route knowledge in a way. Wolfboy, have you driven the 66? There is one on this route, but not on the PS4 yet. Yes, I have driven the 66. We done that about 2 streams ago, and I was not impressed, to say the least. Harry Harrison, why are 66s banned from the Uckfield? They're actually not allowed past Sanderstead on the East Grinstead line. Lovely graffiti on the wall there. That's really good. They're not allowed past Sanderstead because of the weight. They have a heavy axle weight restriction on them, because the bridges at Riddlesdown Viaduct, Oxford Viaduct and Cookspawn Viaduct are very, very weak. So yeah, they're not allowed down the East Grinstead or the Uckfield lines because of that, without special dispensation. Peter Green, HSTs used to run to Brighton with cross country. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I know they used to have Voyagers down there. I didn't know we used to have HSTs. There used to be a class 47 working many years ago down to Brighton on the cross country. It's a shame that all stopped. Lots of trains at Balham. I think we get a 60 round the corner at Balham here, don't we? Only on the up road? Only on the up road, okay. Blob, how long does it usually take to learn a route? Very subjective question. It depends on how long the route is and how complicated the route is. I think when I originally learnt Tunbridge to London Bridge via Redhill, I think I was given 4 weeks to learn it. It depends on your company as well. Freight drivers don't normally get as long because you don't need to know braking points for stations and stuff like that. Then on freight you need to learn other things like gradients and shunt moves. You do need to know shunt moves for passengers, but they tend to be more relevant to freight. So yeah, it's really subjective. Just depends on how long the route is and how complicated it is. Briar Gaming, glad it's not just me that hates the 66 in train sim. Yeah, no, the 66 is bad. There's a lot wrong with the 66. David Sosa, why did you swap passenger for freight? To be honest with you, David, I've got an interest in the job, obviously. I've got a personal interest in railways. And I just got fed up with driving passenger trains. We were doing the same routes quite a lot of the time, same traction, and it was kind of just got a bit repetitive and boring. So I find with freight the work's obviously very dynamic. As you take on a new contract, you might have to learn new traction and new routes to cover that contract. And every day tends to be a little bit different for me on freight. Some days you're doing ballast work, sometimes you might be doing aggregates work. You're going to all different places, doing all different types of work. So that for me, I enjoy the variety of it. It's not for everyone though, because the shifts on freight work are not as good as passenger work by a long shot. Passenger work, your shifts are more stable, your start times are normally more civilised. Shifts are normally shorter as well, so I've got worse terms and conditions now, but I'm happier in my work, if that makes sense. Blob, do you learn routes by just watching videos? You're not allowed to learn routes by watching videos, but you can refresh a route by watching a video. But that depends on your company's instructions and how complicated the route is. So when I learned, for example, the Uckfield and East Grinstead line, I learnt those during lockdown. I was on furlough, and I watched route learning videos to learn those because we were allowed to do training whilst we were on furlough, believe it or not. So I watched route learning videos to give me a basis and understanding of the route. But then I was still required to go out with an instructor on a route learning engine and actually go over the route a couple of times as well, just to make sure that I cemented the knowledge. So yeah, you can use videos as a route learning aid, but they're not a substitute for actually going out and doing the route. Which is what I've said about Train Sim as well. You know, I think it's a really good route learning aid, but it's no substitute for actually going out and learning it. Coming into Thornton Heath. And then up to Selhurst. Hopefully we're going to stay on the fast all the way down. Robert, at an SE station, EG7X, do you talk to the DS? If you do you keep the window or cab door open? I assume you mean dispatch staff, Robert. Yeah. Personally, absolutely. I always pull the window down and say hello, good morning. You sat in the cab for long periods of time on your own. It's nice just to have someone to say hello to. Most of them are pretty friendly. And to be honest, you're sort of right next to somebody. Why do you want to keep your window closed and not interact with them? It's almost like it's a little bit rude, in my opinion. But each to their own. So we are going to drop down to 60 in a minute, somewhere up here. So I'm going to get the brake in now. I'm not quite sure where it starts, but it does start somewhere up here. 97 people, lovely viewers in the stream today. You're all very welcome here, and thanks for joining us. Please do click the like button and also consider subscribing to Dad Rail. Helps the YouTube algorithms to recommend my videos just a little bit more. Wolf Boy, I noticed you put the reverser into neutral at stations. Is this common practice? It depends. Some companies will have it mandated in their driving policy that they want you to do that. Some companies won't. For me, it's personal preference. I think a lot of drivers will do it because once you're in neutral, you can take your foot off the DSD pedal and relax your feet a bit. So. But yeah, it depends on your individual company, but the companies I've worked for, it's not been mandatory. Ross Coles, apparently at Selhurst in the depot there was a glitch 166, all pixels. Yeah, I saw Megasim stream on that, it looked interesting. So we've got 45 coming up through East Croydon. There's your 45. East Croydon does look really nice. Please stand away from the edge of the platform. The next train is not scheduled to call at this station. We should go straight back up to 90 as soon as we clear the points here. East Croydon's a nice simple place to learn. It's got a lot of crossovers, but all the crossovers are 25 mile an hour except going into platform 1, which is 30 miles an hour. '60 South Croydon, then up to 90. We are 12 cars, so we'll just wait for the back to clear. Robert, in the Charing Cross Hastings, did you have a guard? Yes, we always carried a guard on those services, Robert. You were driver only operated after... He's got to be speeding, that one next to me. Either that or he's got a shorter train and he's clear already. Yeah, you were driver only operated once you got past Tunbridge. Yeah, you always had a guard on. For me, the most boring bit of the route was the drive up from Hastings to Tunbridge. I used to find that bit quite tedious and boring. I used to like it when you sort of got up into London where it's a bit more busy, a bit more going on, a lot more to keep your mind stimulated. What is it with these people on the edge of the platform? Right, we should go up to 90 now. Transport guy, which is more demanding to drive, freight or passenger? That's a really good question. I like that one. I would say they're actually completely different disciplines. Freight driving, I think freight driving requires more skill in the actual handling of the train. If you're not on the ball in freight driving, if you don't put the power on in the right place, you could come towards a gradient and literally roll to a stand. If you're not handling the train right, you can snap the couplings off. If you're not, you can potentially derail the train if you're not driving it properly. So I think with freight, there's a lot more to think about. Even so much as like you could be driving along green signals, and you might, with freight, you might have to put the brake in even on green signals, you might put the brake in at a particular time in anticipation that the next signal is going to be 2 yellows. Because if you wait till the 2 yellows, there isn't enough time to stop before the red because of the weight of your train. So with freight, you're thinking sort of a lot more in advance and a lot more about what you're doing. With passenger though, obviously you've got the station stops to worry about, you've got the position on the platforms, you've got the car marks, you've got your passengers to worry about. So I think in a way they're completely different disciplines. I'd say in the actual driving aspect of it, passenger trains are pretty easy to drive. You pull the power controller open and they go. With freight, you've got to kind of you drive it smoothly, you don't snatch the wagons, you make sure you're braking at the right time. And I think freight can be much more rewarding to drive, and I think as a driver, in actually manipulating the controls, there's more skill involved in being a freight driver. Brighton, do you prefer pedestal 66 or Euro spec 66? Yeah, that's another good question. I think I prefer the pedestal ones. I think the Euro spec ones can be a little bit uncomfortable. Robert, what is more sociable, freight or passenger? Loving the string, thank you very much, Robert. Passenger, definitely. You've normally got a guard on another member of staff. You're interacting with people a bit more. Yeah, freight you can often do long hours on your own. Passenger's definitely more sociable. The hours are more sociable in passenger as well. So we're just passing over Stokes Nest Junction. 108 people in the stream. This is absolutely brilliant, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I would appreciate that very, very much. We're approaching 90. Oh, a little bit of sound bug there. Wilf Boy, what would be on the black screen to the right? These are your DOI monitors, your driver only operation monitors. So when you open the doors, these would give you the CCTV output of the door cameras. So on the outside of the train, we'll get through this bit. This is known as the covered way. It used to be a tunnel on the line. We'll get through this bit. You can see the little kind of red blobs on the side of the train here. They're actually cameras. So when you open the doors, you'll get the output of those cameras on the displays here, and that's what the driver will use to dispatch the train to make sure the doors are clear. Robert, which station of the Hastings to Charing Cross is the most boring or dull? I'm not sure about that one. Crowhurst, maybe. I'm sure the people who live in Crowhurst would disagree with me. Peter Green, it's a shame you can't do 100 on this bit anymore. Was this bit 100, Peter? I certainly know that from Red Hill down to Balkan Tunnel was 100. I didn't know this bit was 100. But it's a shame in any case that the bits that were 100 were put back to 90. It seems like a bit of a backward step, really. So while we're going through this really boring bit of the route, guys, I'm just going to plug the Discord again. Link in the description below if you want to join us. And if you head over there, you can post your pictures in the live stream chat section. And you can have them up on the screen, just like Southampton Train Spotter has done there, with the 2 Class 70s and the 444. And some sort of metro train at the top there, which I've got absolutely no idea what it is. But yeah, Discord link in the description below. And you can also follow me on social media as well, facebook.com/dadrail, twitter.com/dadrail. Cameron Wildman, have you driven this route before? Yes, absolutely, in real life. In real life and on the sim. and the sim is a very, very good representation. Dovetail have done a really good job on this. There's a couple of bits that are not perfect, there's a couple of bugs and stuff, but generally speaking they've done really well. Marcin Zajak, if that's how you pronounce it, welcome to Dadrow. Robert, if your passenger company has more than one type of train, do you learn to operate more than one? It will depend, I don't know why I'm putting the brakes on, it will depend on your individual depot, Robert, and what trains they operate. So, for example, South Eastern at Hastings only operate 375s, whereas Tunbridge Depot also do 375s and 465s because they have 465 services out of Tunbridge. So yeah, and it depends on your individual depot. So our next speed we need to worry about is Red Hill Tunnel, the other side of Red Hill Tunnel, where we will drop to 75, I want to say. Train Sim Depot, Train Sim videos weekly, love it, thank you very much. Feeling the love in the chat tonight, very much appreciated. I didn't think I was going to get many people in tonight because I've overstreamed this route so much, but we got a good turnout, it's fantastic. So we're coming down towards the Radial Tunnel, so we're going to actually know the speed limit's the other side of the tunnel, so we'll get through the tunnel first. Guy McKenzie, got my pass out week next week on the IET, any tips? Love the stream. Guy, congratulations on getting this far. If you've made it to pass out, you'll be absolutely fine. Guys that are not up to standard won't be put forward for the pass out week. Yeah, I remember that week. Most companies will be 80, sorry. Oh, lots of lag in there, lots of tunnel graphics clicked through. Yeah, lots of companies, if you're passing out as a driver, your initial assessment will be a week long. Just make sure you get lots of rest, drink lots of coffee, study hard and don't stress about it. And just remember, any questions or stuff, just speak to your manager. I'd say, you know, it's a good time to form a rapport with your manager during that week. You know, and if you're not sure about something, ask. You know, don't think you need to be that absolutely perfect, it's not going to happen. As long as you don't do anything that's unsafe and you show a good understanding, you'll be fine. So we're coming down towards Ellswood. You can cross here onto the slow lines. You need position 4 there. If you're stopping at Salford, you'll need to cross over. So back up to 90. Mark Lawrence, what's the difference between the 37s and network around 97s? They look the same. Someone in the chat might be able to answer that for you because I don't have a clue. Sounds like there's a bit of a sound bump going on as well. Andy C, I've sent you a Facebook page DM about the driver assessment. Oh, that's really good, thank you Andy. I shall take a look at that later. I'm pretty bad at checking my Facebook messages. I get a bit overwhelmed with them, as you can imagine, but as soon as I finish the stream, I'll go and have a look at that. Thank you very much, I really appreciate your advice. Yeah, good luck, Guy. Let us know how you get on, buddy. Contact me on the social media channels. Like I said, I do check them now and again. And let us know how you get on. But yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. If you've made it this far, you'll be fine. Just you know, if you're not sure of anything, ask. You haven't got to be perfect. They're not expecting you to be perfect. As long as you're not doing anything unsafe, you'll be fine. Don't forget, guys, as well, I'm also on Patreon. If you want to join the Dadrow train crew and support me on Patreon, you can do patreon.com/Dadrow. Russia and sorry, I can't pronounce your name there. Have you driven Ashford or Folkestone area? I have when I've been conducted. I don't sign that area myself. I'm more over Sussex way, but I have driven over that way. The run along the seawall down to the Dover is a beautiful bit of railway line. Ollie Russell, 220, 221, 222. I've not driven any of those. This is probably controversial, but I really like Voyagers. Very controversial. And yeah, I'd really like to go on a voyage and have the opportunity. I'd definitely take that. So we're going to get the brakes in just before Hawley for Gatwick, because I'm not sure how the brakes are going to perform. There's your 2 yellows. We're going to get the brakes in now. 2 yellows, you're actually into Gatwick. The speed limit drops to 30 up here though. It depends on, I can't remember how they've modelled Gatwick, whether it's current or whether it's based on how it used to be. But obviously Gatwick's being rebuilt at the moment, so it's constantly changing. Let's get a bit more brake in there. 1 yellow and platform 5. No, not Voyagers, Peter Green. Yeah, controversial, I know, but I do like them. I do like them. Blob, do high-speed trains require more steel than commuter trains? Again, I would say it's a completely different skill set, Blob. It's that kind of commuter trains, you're stopping and starting a lot. So you're constantly worrying about where your next station stop is and stuff like that. Whereas with high-speed trains, you've got the problem where you could be doing long periods of time at high speed on green signals and you can lose concentration quite easily. So yes, it's a different discipline. $12 for the 12, 1 yellow. And I'm using brakes at 3, which is really bad. Into 3. Neutral. Open the doors. And we're running really early. That is lovely. Bright Gaming, are you hoping for some Crawley, Purley and Ardingly freight services on this route? Yeah, that would be really good, but I think they need to sort the 66 out. I did hear whispers that the Ardingly branch is actually on here, but there's no services on it. I don't know how true that is. But that would be really good. What else have we got? Stephen Enderman, was a pleasure seeing you on in the RHTT outside Selhurst the other day. Yes, of course, you messaged me. I remember, Stephen. Yes.
If you require assistance at any
Robert, what is a pass-out week on the IET? That is the final assessment after completing all your driver training. You complete all your training, you complete your minimum of 225 hours with an instructor, and then you literally have a week-long assessment to get your license. That's going to be downloaded by your CD. Tut tut. Yeah, the brake step 3, they won't like that. So for some reason, we're actually going to be late leaving. Or is that going to time out in the next 5 seconds? It might do. Russian and Og. Yes, I did go up the Ardeno branch in FreeCam and it is all modelled. There we go. Yeah, we definitely need some... I mean, there's like... The timetable in this is mental anyway. There's God knows how many hours of services in it. It's really ridiculous. So yeah, no, getting some freight services in Ardingly would be really cool. Stop at Brighton, 23 miles away. Forward. Open her up. Straight up to 90. Yeah, there's a plane just gone across in front of us. Let's have a look at the runway. See if that's... Ah, those sounds are spot on. That does sound nice. That does sound very, very nice. Yeah, not much a Gatwick model, but we'll forgive them. It's a train sim, not a plane sim. Incidentally, Gatwick Airport, you may be aware of this, you may not be aware of this, but there's actually, both sides of the railway track at Gatwick Airport, there's 12-foot high trip wires. It's literally just a wire hung on some wooden supports all the way along. And if that wire gets broken, it will instantly put all of the signals in the area back to danger, turn the third rail current off, and send an emergency message to all the trains in the area. So if you're ever around there with a pair of shears, whatever you do, if you want to cause chaos, snip. But no, I really wouldn't advise that. But yeah, no, but if a plane comes over too low and knocks the wire out, it'll turn the traction current off, put all the signals back to danger, and alert the control centre that something's happened. So yeah, all sorts of safety systems in place that we don't know are there. Wolf Boy, over 4,000 services. Yeah, no, they've done an amazing job on the timetable. You can call me Russian if you want, I will do. Gatwick looks better in MS Flight Sim 2020. I've yet to download MS Flight Sim 2020. I'm still playing on Flight Sim X. Like I said before on a few times in the streams, I've got a Flight Sim set up as well, so I've got the joystick and the SATIC instruments and rudder pedals and everything. I've yet to migrate over to 2020, but I definitely need to because it looks awesome. John M, that's very interesting about Gatwick. I'm sure other airports have that too, but Gatwick's the only one I know about. Yeah, there you go. Andy C says the tripwire mechanism is at Manchester as well. Yeah, a few little sound glitches in there. I think it's when you go over the points. When you go over the points, it should be like a clickety-click, clickety-clack sound. Yeah, Free Bridges, it's the Free Bridges signalling centre. And if you look at that big building on the right there, guys, that is Free Bridges Rail Operating Centre. That big building on the right, big white one. Giving us ideas. Yeah, so we're 90 all the way down here, but then we drop to, I want to say 80 or 85 just before Balham Tunnel. We'll go with 80, just to be on the safe side. Just round the corner at Balham. Word Deltix, Ian Bradley. Word Deltix / diesel engines given no spinning on how many driving wheels they had. Yeah, so a three-wheel bogie is known as a Coco. A two-wheel bogie is known as a Bobo. I don't know what the Dodo is. I'm sure maybe that's 4 or something like that. I'm sure someone will know. But yeah, Bobo's 2 wheels, Coco's 3 wheels. There was a class of locomotive which was a Boco, so it had a 2 and a 3. I can't remember what class it was, but I'm sure someone in the chat will know. Yeah, Bobo's a 2-wheel bogie, Coco's a 3-wheel bogie. So obviously Coco locomotives tend to be better suited for heavy freight traffic, like the class 66, the class 57s, for example. Whereas Bobos tend to be better suited for passenger work, so you don't get as much grip on the wheels. Class 73, for example. I think the class 25s were Bobo, but I could be wrong. No, I mentioned the speed and I forgot to slow down for it. Gareth Edwards, good evening. Russian, do you drive here in real life? Yes, absolutely. I shall be driving... No, I won't be driving along this bit tomorrow, but I'll be driving along the north end of the route tomorrow. So we are, if you're not familiar with the geography, we're on the London to Brighton main line. Brighton's on the south coast of England. London's obviously the capital city of England. This is the main line that runs between the two cities. We're just approaching Haywards Heath, which is about 3/4 of the way along the route to the south. Wolf Boy, if a pilot clips the wire with his undercarriage, would it cause carnage to the timetable? It would just glitch out, wouldn't it? You used to have kind of trains glitching out or something like that. Peter Green, Voyager is basically a poor man's Pendolino. Really? Come on, we should be back up to 90. There we go. Mark Lawrence, do you as a driver get to drive steam trains, or are they special drivers? You've got to be special for wanting to drive a steam train. Neil, hello, good evening. Yeah, generally speaking, there's only a couple of companies that operate steam engines. I think West Coast operates steam, and DB Cargo also operates steam. You need special training to to operate steam engines. So if your company has a steam license and you're one of the lucky ones to get chosen, and yeah, you'd get trained up on how to drive them. But that's going to be kind of top link, prestigious work that everyone wants. That's going to go to the old boys that have been there 40 years. Someone like me, 15 years, still a boy on the job, but I'm not going to get a look into that. Let's do some horn action. What's going on with that horn? Bugging out of it. Depot whistle. Hardly audible. I think there is one of the scenarios here that goes bang road, goes wrong road using the symbol signals as well. Let's jump out from News Valley Viaduct. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I would absolutely love, the News Valley Viaduct's not too far from where I live. I would love to get my drone up and get some drone shots of the trains going across the bridge. Technically, you could fly there because it's outside of the Gatwick flight restriction zone. There's a public footpath which runs along the bottom, which I'm allowed to take off and land on. And contrary to popular belief, you can't stop drones flying over private property as much as you can't stop light aircraft flying over private property, providing the drone isn't causing a nuisance. So, also with the lightweight drones, sorry if I'm talking about drones too much, also with the lightweight sub 250 gram drones, you can fly them in the A1 open category, which means there's no minimum separation distances from people and railways and stuff like that. So technically and legally I could fly there. But, and this is the but, there are signs on the footpath telling you not to. Now although you can fly there, the signs tell you not to fly there, and I think as there's signs there, I'm just not going to fly there. But it would be really nice to get some really nice shots of the trains going across there, especially at sunset or something like that. It'd be beautiful. Haywards Heath. Start fender. I've done that one in real life a few times. Mark Castle, but you still drive the green thumper out of Hastings? Not me personally. I'm not trained on the thumper, but some of my colleagues are. Again, that's one of those jobs that it goes to the people that have been there for many years, got lots of experience. Just like all the good jobs go to the more senior blokes because they've earned the right to those jobs. Which is really annoying, especially when you're keen, like I am, but yeah, you can understand why. Cyclic pilot evening. Wolf Boy, are there different horn combinations for different situations, either low, high, low, or just high? Not really. It's high, low. The high, low horn, or low, high, is a warning. So if you see people on the track, or you want to sound a warning to people that are about on the track, or trespassers, or people standing on the edge of the platform, use both tones. Whistleboard, you're supposed to use low tone only. So that would be that. High tone horn. There used to be a rule that if you were passing a signal at danger, you'd sound on the high tone. And if you're making a wrong direction movement, you make short, regular blasts on the high tone horn. It's also the case that if you see someone on the track and you give them a two-tone and they don't acknowledge, then you can sound a series of short blasts on the high tone as like an additional warning. So there's a few things with the horn. There used to be a lot more than that. There used to be when shunting, you use the low tone. When passing a train that's shunting in the yard, you use the low tone. There used to be quite a lot more on the horn, but they've skinnied it down a bit for noise abatement. Fabian, order 66. We done the 66 a couple of weeks ago. Didn't enjoy that. I did not enjoy the 66. Flying game at 03. Whatever you think is more interesting. I think driving's interesting, but guarding is a lot more sociable. So like being a guard, speaking to people can be really nice, but you can also get a lot of aggravation with the passengers. But it depends on how you treat people, I guess. You kind of get out of people what you put in. So if you're nice to them, they'll normally be nice to you, and just kind of don't go looking for trouble, and it's all right. Bright Gaming, what about entering a structure? Yes, no, if you're entering a shed or depot, yeah, you want to be stopping and sounding the low tone of your horn. But then again, some depots have got local instructions which supersede that, and they tell you not to do it for noise abatement procedures. So yeah, it does depend. Excuse me for asking this, the Flying Gamer, are you Jan? I believe you are Jan, but just confirm that for me, because my memory's atrocious. So while we're on a boring straight bit of the route heading down towards Hassocks, let's check the Discord, that button there. Ah, we've had no further posts in there, we're still at the same class sentences. I'm going to say the top one is at Eastleigh, the bottom one's at Eastleigh, and the middle one's at Shawford. If you want to join the Discord, you can do, link in the description below. Another 387 coming the other way. Flying Gamer, thank you very much. That's what I thought. So we're going through Hassocks, coming down to the very beautiful Clayton Tunnel. And I haven't seen the tunnel from this direction on the route. I haven't driven this way in the sim yet, so I'll be quite interested to see what this looks like. Yeah, Paul B is saying there, when the 375s first come out, their horns were deafening. Warrior Square was very loud with them sounding and going in and out of the tunnel. Yeah, that was one of the rules, going in and out of the tunnel. You had to sound your horn. Yeah, and as you say, the new trains, the horns were a lot louder than the old ones. So, Clayton Tunnel. Yeah, she looks nice. Supposedly haunted, this tunnel. It was the site of a horrific train crash quite a few years ago. So while we're in the tunnel, Monts, is there a rule for 2 yellows and 1 yellow speed? On UK signalling, there is no set speed that you go past these signals. The reason being they're not always a set distance apart. So in the London area, for example, signals could be 200 or 300 yards apart. When you get out into the country, they could be 2 or 3 miles apart. So there's no set speed for going past them. Purely comes down to your route connection. Jay Callow, hi Dadrail, hello Jay. You are joining us right at the end of our stream today. Because hashtag Mumrail has now left the building. She's gone. She's left the building. I'm out of tea. This means we've got to be wrapping it up soon. Wrong button, that one. Definitely a bit of a sound glitch on this. So the speed limit will drop to 75 at Patcham Tunnel in a minute. Wolfboy, do you find the small windscreen in this class giving you a bit restricting, especially compared to freight trains? Yes and no, actually. I mean, you get used to it really quickly, but you are restricted on what you can see on the offside. You are restricted. You do lose maybe a good 20 foot on that side. From the kind of it going past here to being able to see it in the side window, you do lose probably a good 20 foot. See, I was just saying about the 75. There's the warning board for it. And there's the commencement just before Patcham Tunnel. So we'll get a 45 just after Preston Park will be our next speed on this route. That's a good idea, Ian. I'm not very good with the free cam though, so I need to get a bit better at that. Transport guy, do you prefer driving trains early morning or late at night? Friday and Saturday night, definitely like enjoying it late at night, especially going through London. Yeah, doesn't bother me either way, generally speaking. Once, thanks for giving knowledge in an entertaining way. I'm glad you're finding it entertaining. It's kind of the thing I like about these streams. I don't kind of take it too seriously. Try and keep it a bit chilled and just answer your questions the best I can. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing them. If I didn't enjoy doing them, then, like I said before, I wouldn't do them. And if you guys are enjoying it, then all the better. Yeah, there's your warning for your 40. Preston Park. 2 yellows. Red is before Brighton at the moment, so we need to get that speed off now. The Flying Gamer 03. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be arriving at Brighton. Please remember to take all your personal belongings with you when leaving the train, and if you see anything suspicious, report it to a member of staff or then Policia. Yeah, so the sidings here should be populated with bits and bobs. 1 yellow. My 40 starts just around here as well, so I need to get the brakes in for that. I can see we red up ahead, get some brakes in. Some nice particle effects on the train wash there. Steve, it's weird. I drive 171s and the difference is crazy. Would you say these are not very good, Steve? I've never driven these. I used to drive. I drove 377s and 375s. I never drove a 387. I think the 377's good, but the simulation, the physics are not perfect, but they're not too bad. Would you say this is really bad in comparison to the real 387? Whoever just joined, whoever just subscribed, Isaac VE, welcome to Dad Rail. Step 3, DRA on and into neutral. We're not due in till 9:37, so like we're obviously been speeding somewhere, which I'm sure we haven't. We're gonna be set here for like ages. Tango 435. Be quite interesting to know actually if all the I could get my route learning book out and have a look, but be quite interesting to see if all the signal numbers are correct across the whole route. I expect they are. It wouldn't surprise me if they've gone to that level of detail. Paul B, Stephen, give us a toot next time you drive past West Marina. I'm only a shunter driver. It's not only a shunter driver, my friend. Very important job. Very important job. At Dadrail, can confirm you was speeding. Must be my going home train. It's the end of the stream. That's why I was speeding. Trying to get done. Jay, timetable gives lots of time on these services. Yeah. Welcome. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that to Dadrail. You are very welcome here. Typing Squirrel, what's a route learning book and where can you get them? I've got the books that were issued by my company, but I believe there are some route learning books online. I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to point you in the right direction. I think they're called Quail Maps or something like that, and you can buy them on Amazon of pretty much the whole country. And they are pretty good. They are pretty good. Can always check the map to see what we are waiting for. I'm still learning on this game, so bear with. Can I zoom in more? No? Oh, I'm not sure there. Oh, do I have to press that full map? Oh, there we go. So it looks like we're going to be waiting for that one to come out. Sorry, I just realised you can't see what I'm looking at because I haven't pressed the right button. Yeah, so we're there. I'm assuming we're that train there. Yeah, something's got green signals to cross over there. I guess we're going to cross over. Well, I'm not sure though, because look, we've got... Is that our... Yeah, let's just wait and see what happens. Ian Bradley, talk us through some of your merch. Give it a plug. I've got a merch store set up on Patreon. As soon as I get to 10,000 subscribers, I can set one up on for YouTube as well. But I need to get to 10k subscribers to do that properly. But if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do patreon.com/dadrail. The top tier are the Ops Manager tier, which is £12 a month, and every 3 months you get a new item of merch sent to you. So after 3 months you get a Dadrail mug. After 6 months you'll get a t-shirt. After 9 months you get a long-sleeved shirt thing, and after 12 months you get a hoodie. So yeah, that's over on patreon.com/dadrail. So I've got the Ops Manager tier, and there's also some lower tiers as well, with sort of behind the scenes stuff and early access to videos and different benefits. So if you do want to check that out, patreon.com/dadrail. Jay, in reality they might let you in early because you are early. Sometimes. Normally if it's your going home train, you'll get there early and then they'll hold you to time just to be annoying. Love signallers. No, they've got a job to do as well, haven't they? So there we go, platform 3. Now this comes down to your route knowledge. Now there's an additional risk going into platform 3 because there's 2 platform signals on platform 3. Welcome back, Jack. Yes, so we're 25. Let's shut the power back. There's 2 signals going into platform 3, and this is where your route knowledge will come into play. So 1 yellow on that signal for any other platform you're in. You're up to the stops. When you come into platform 3, you have an additional signal to worry about, which is approach controlled. So it's quite possibly... Yes, the unmarked crossover 15, as I said at the beginning of the stream. And then 15 at the platform ramps. I've got the cab sway turned up way too high. I've so got to turn that down. Yeah, see, there's your additional signal just there. And that can be held at danger if he wants you to stop. If the signaller wants you to stop here and he's got something coming in from the West Coastway. So that is a bit of a spad trap there. Especially if you're in a hurry and you're going home, you might just get the signal in, not read you're going into platform 3, start putting stuff in your bag. Then before you know it, you've spadded the signal. So we're going to drop her down to 10 because there's TPWS loops would be set at 10 in reality. What's your favourite DMU apart from Voyager, if that's a fave? I would love to drive some of the old sprinters, 150, 156s, 158s. I'd love to drive stuff like that. No, we're going to hit the stops. That would have been pretty bad. Step 3, DRA, neutral. How many passengers have we got on? Not a lot. So that was the other thing, guys. You know, like if you're a bus driver, I don't know about you, but if I ever go by bus, when I get off the bus, it's always like, you know, you say thank you to the driver. The amount of times you've had it on a train where you get out of the cab and like you just stand there, and you have like, you know, maybe 1,000 people walk past you, and no one says thank you. It's like, oh, okay then. Right, let's see how we scored. We've got gold by the looks of it. I don't know what you were talking about. There's hardly any speed in there. Pretty tight to the limits, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. We'll take that. We'll take that. Can you imagine failing the last seconds on the stream? Yeah, we didn't spad, but we did bugger up because we did trip the AWS, but that's not my fault. That's a bug in the game. That's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. So, guys, we are going to wrap the stream up there. As always, if you're still here, then you must have liked it. So please do click the like button and also consider subscribing to Dad Rail for more content like this. Thursday evening we will be doing the 313s unless I get a nice email from Dovetail tomorrow sometime, and then hopefully we'll do it tomorrow. But we'll wait and see what happens with that. As always, guys, social media, it'd be great to see you over there. Facebook.com/DadRail, Twitter.com/DadRail, Discord, link in the description below. And of course, if you want to, Patreon.com/DadRail. Really great seeing you all here. Hope to chat to you all in the next one. And if you want to have a little chat now, I will be over in the Discord server for around about half an hour or so. So if you do want to chat to me, then head over there. Anyway, until next time, guys, create, share, and of course, inspire. And find the right button. That one there. See you later. No, that's not the right button. That's not the right button. That's the right button. There we go. Wolf Boy, if you're still in, I've just seen your chat, the 66 one. I think it was the last one where we done Reigate. It's probably about a quarter of the way through the stream.